Guys, second attempt at the video. I wanted to talk today about my favorite fast food chains. I was gonna do an actual ranking of fast food places, but I kind of realized as I was trying to put that together that the different types of fast food places are just too different to compare to one another. Comparing a place like McDonald's to a restaurant like Dairy Queen, for example, both of those I'll be talking about. You can't really compare those to each other; it's just not comparable at all, really. So instead, I decided to use I'm using Ranker's list of fast food places. I cherry picked which ones I wanted to talk about that I thought were some of the better ones in general, and which ones specifically I could compare to other places. For example, the first category I'm going to talk about is the classic fast food chains that you kind of think of, which is McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, the burger fast food chains, I guess you would call it. And for me, out of those three, I think that McDonald's is the best value. I like their breakfast. I like the McGriddle. I like the Big Mac. I like nuggets there. But the quality, as far as actually good food, goes with Wendy's. I think Wendy's has a much better quality food. The chicken and beef specifically are much, much better at Wendy's. I love the chili at Wendy's, and I always get the 4 for 4 basically when I'm there. I just think 4 for 4 is a really good deal considering Wendy's isn't expensive, but it's definitely more expensive than McDonald's. McDonald's is so absurdly cheap that it's hard to really compare with anything, especially if you're a coupon or discount shopper like I am. I have the McDonald's app on my phone. If I ever feel like going to McDonald's, I'll always open up the app, and I would say about 75% of the time I order something that I have a coupon for, just because it's if you get a 10-piece McNugget, get another 10-piece McNugget free. It's all right, I guess I'm getting 20 McNuggets for lunch. So yeah, because of all those reasons, and because McDonald's is more prevalent and closer and all that, out of the three, I'd probably rank McDonald's at the top, even though Wendy's has the better food. And Wendy's is usually the one I pick to go to if I can. It's just not as prevalent, so it's hard to pick it usually. Since we're on the category of burgers, I'll talk about my favorite burger fast food place, which is actually Five Guys. Not only do I think they have a great burger, I would even consider that their burger is one of the best burgers overall, not even just out of fast food chains or whatever. I would say that the Five Guys burger is probably better than most burgers I've had at diners or something like that. There's been a couple really, really good diner burgers I've had that are better than Five Guys for sure. But there's quite a few diners where I've gone to that have had just mediocre burgers, and Five Guys definitely outdoes them. I also like the whole peanut thing they have at Five Guys. I think that's fun. Strawberry shake is great there. And even though it's all greasy and gross and super duper loaded with calories, it's just a good treat. My next category I wanted to talk about, or at least I have on my list, is the Mexican places. Specifically, I'm going to compare Taco Bell to Chipotle to Qdoba I'll throw in Moe's, I guess. I've been to Moe's once or twice, and just nothing special to me, so I'm not really going to talk about it much. Then Qdoba, that leaves Taco Bell, Chipotle, Qdoba. Qdoba's at the bottom of that list. I don't think I really need to kind of explain why it's at the bottom. It's two in between of Taco Bell and Chipotle as far as a style of Mexican food. So I'll just kind of leave that one off the rankings because I want to focus on Taco Bell or Chipotle. I did a video on it very recently, so I'm not going to go too deep into it. But overall, if you want actual Mexican food, neither of these are the option. If you want actual Mexican food, go to an authentic Mexican restaurant. They're cheap anyway. You're not doing yourselves any favor by going to a fast food for real Mexican food. But if you want to compare Chipotle to Taco Bell, it's hard because Chipotle is more similar to Subway than I would compare it to Taco Bell. Just because it's a cleaner, you make your own, the bowls versus the wraps and that whole thing. You pick what's inside it, all that. Even though it's made out of beans and taco meat, and it's not even really taco meat now I'm thinking about it. It's Mexican style grilled chicken and stuff and steak and all that, but you can't really get ground taco meat at Chipotle. The closest thing is steak, which is not or barbacoa, I guess, is the closest to ground taco meat, but still, again, not close. So overall, out of those two I mentioned in the last video, I would pick Taco Bell over Chipotle, but they're very, very different experiences for what you're trying to get. In general, I would choose to go to a real Mexican place, but that's kind of a cop-out answer. I could say that for basically any of these categories. For example, my next category is sandwiches. Specifically, I'll compare Jersey Mike's to Subway. I could talk about Quiznos and Jimmy John's and some of the other places, but for me, the two big ones are Subway and Jersey Mike. And unlike the Wendy's versus McDonald's argument where I said that even though I like Wendy's food better and I would choose to go there more often if I could, I would put McDonald's as my better ranked one. This is kind of the opposite, where Jersey Mike's quality of food is so far superior to what they have at Subway that it's worth whatever the extra money is. Jersey Mike's absolutely is more expensive, but you get more food, so it kind of balances out. And the quality of food is so much better, it's just worth it to me. If I have the option, I will always pick Jersey Mike's. There's no time where I'll be like, oh, well, I want to spend cheap or I want to get like a ton of food for very little money, so I'll go with Subway. Overall, I will always say Jersey Mike's in that scenario. The one thing I will give to Subway is I absolutely love their cookies. Like, my favorite cookies in the world are Subway cookies in general. Specifically, they have a raspberry cheesecake cookie that I think is really good. As a kid growing up, I always got the white macadamia nut. They also have really good soda, which sounds weird, and I don't really drink a lot of soda, but whatever mixture Subway uses for sodas, I like a lot. And other than that, I guess that's it. But my point of bringing these two up in this portion of the video was kind of like I was talking about with Taco Bell, that the real answer for what Mexican food should get is authentic Mexican food. In most cases, I would say that whatever local deli is near you, more likely than not, has a better sandwich than Jersey Mike or Subway. Jersey Mike makes a really good sandwich, so there is a handful of, like, if you go to a really lousy deli, I guess Jersey Mike's might make a better sandwich, but most, like, delis that kind of have self-respect and pride themselves on being a decent deli probably will make better food than Jersey Mike's. Next category I'll go into, which I know is going to hurt my girlfriend's feelings, is ice creams. Because I am going to say Dairy Queen's my favorite. I know it's a cliche answer. I haven't tried a ton of places, I'll be honest. Basically, Dairy Queen, Rita's, Carvel. Those are kind of the main ones that I could talk about in a video. And I just love the Dairy Queen Blizzards. I was going to argue that I don't like Carvel as much because they focus on soft serve, but my favorite thing to get at Dairy Queen is also soft serve because the Blizzard. So it's not really a good argument. I understand that. I just like the variety of options at Dairy Queen. I like the different, like, Blizzards they have. Like, there's more Blizzards I like at Dairy Queen than there is shakes or whatever they call it at Carvel that I like. And then as far as, like, Rita's goes, I'm just not super into Italian ice or the cream ices or things like that. I have had really good cream ice thanks to my girlfriend. She loves a place by her called Ralph's, which, although I didn't like what I got, she got very, very good cream ice. So I'm looking forward to trying, like, that place again with a better flavor. And then I'll throw into this category, I do love frozen yogurt, like, a lot. Like, if I had the option sometime, I would probably choose frozen yogurt over ice creams in most... No, that's not true. It depends what I'm in the mood for. But I do like frozen yogurt a lot too, so that deserves a shout out in this section because they're very similar all the places, and there's not really a consistent chain. I guess there's a couple, but there's not really like one I can think of off the top of my head. Maybe TCBY is one, but I don't know if that's everywhere. Cups, I think, is one that's kind of popular. But again, they're kind of varied all over the place. Next category. This video is going to be long. I apologize in advance. They're not really advanced anymore. We're 9.5 minutes into the video, so we're beyond this being apologies in advance. But I'll take my time. For pizzas, mainly going to focus on Domino's over Pizza Hut, and I could talk about Papa John's and whatever, but the real two that you're competing against are Domino's and Pizza Hut. For me, I will heavily lean Domino's just because the main thing is I like their crust better. I like the Domino's crust a lot better. I also like how well established they are online with their deals and the app and all that kind of stuff. Is just a lot smoother than my experiences with Pizza Hut doing the same thing. I don't have a ton of experience ordering that kind of pizza anyway, because again, like every category, if you're in the New York, New Jersey area, chances are whatever local pizza place you have is going to be much better than Domino's or Pizza Hut. But for those of you that don't live in New York or New Jersey, you're probably dealing with pitiful, terrible pizza. So Domino's and Pizza Hut might be your best options. I know when I went down to Florida to try and have pizza with my family, I would have been better off getting Domino's because the pizza was just absolutely atrocious. I did not pronounce that right. We're going to blow right past it, though. My last category is the cakey desserts, I guess I'm going to call it, which isn't a good way to describe it because none of these things are cake now that I'm looking at my list. But the three I'm going to compare are Auntie Anne's, Cinnabon, and Krispy Kreme. All very, very different. Hard to compare them to each other. But as I talked about in a recent video, Auntie Anne's has my favorite food in the whole wide world, which is cinnamon sugar pretzel bites. I like those better than Cinnabon. Overall is good, but it's just so heavy and like too much like gooey food in one sitting. And Krispy Kreme is kind of similar. Like I like Krispy Kreme, and out of donuts, Krispy Kreme does a fantastic job. I'm also spoiled with Krispy Kreme because the Krispy Kreme factory is in Jersey City, so I've been there a couple times when I was at school. So getting those like fresh Krispy Kreme donuts is just a whole different experience than like getting them at your local mall or wherever you get Krispy Kreme. And then finally, I'll just end the video with a couple quick honorable mentions of places that were on the ranker list that I couldn't really squeeze into a category, but I wanted to bring up. First one I'll talk about is Fuddruckers. I just like Fuddruckers in general. It's another burger type place, more of a experience, sit down. You have to go there to experience it. It's not like a drive-through burger place. But I think they make good food. I like their deals and combos and stuff. A little bit on the pricier side. And they have some unique things. I'm pretty sure they have things like an ostrich burger and an alligator burger, weird things like that. Haven't had a chance to really try them, but would definitely be interested. Sonic, I'm giving a shout out because I tried it for the first time, like, I guess it's been a month ago now, give or take, a little more. Tried it for the first time, and the food is pretty terrible, honestly. It's fine. Somewhere between fine and terrible is where their food ranks. But the experience is a second to none. I love that they have the little vibe of, like, you pull into the thing, you order on the screen, and then the guy comes in his roller skates and delivers the food, and that whole thing I just thought was very, very cool. So it deserves an honorable mention just for that. And then last is one of my... I will never be able to probably ever have it again, or at least not to the same extent that I did. But when I was down in Texas for a week for a thing with school, we went to Steak and Shake every single night that we were there. And I was not disappointed once. I got a kid's meal every time, which came with like a burger, fries, a shake, and most places, the kid's meal was the same size as a regular meal. It just didn't come deluxe or maybe slightly less fries. You got a small shake instead of a medium shake, something along those lines. But it was a full meal for like $7, this Steak and Shake meal in Texas. And I was loving it. I collected all the little like toy car things they give you when you order a Steak and Shake meal. And everything I'm describing right now might be something that's specific to the South. I know the South just does different things with some of their chain fast food places that make them better. So I've tried Steak and Shake one other time since being in Texas, in New Jersey at one of the malls, and it wasn't even close. The menu was way smaller. The prices were all jacked up. The quality wasn't as good. It's a completely different experience. So yeah, I guess that's it for this video. This is one of my longest videos in a very long time, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll wrap it up here. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in tomorrow's episode.